you are starting, please record. Yeah.
All right. So the last time we saw some views, and then we saw how to add data to the database. We saw how to view the data that I've added to the database, right? And I shared something in the group that I wanted you guys to start a new Django project on your own, so that today we'll discuss. I want to see if you guys are learning anything at all, because this is not like the normal class that we go and sit and then we are waiting for exams. This is supposed to be a practical session. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. We'll do 1 hour of that. And then the last hour, I mean, if I'm convinced that you guys are okay with what we've done so far, then in the last hour, we will go on to class-based views. We'll write how to create data with class-based views, how to list the list view, update view, all those generic class-based views. We're going to look at them in the last hour. All right, so I'm going to start with Ofosu AJ. Please, can you share your screen? Today is going to be like dictation. Can you share your screen? I want to see whether you've been able to do anything with Django. I mean, with what we've learned so far.
Okay, I'm coming. Let me share.
Wow, nice. Coolest. All right. Please explain. You have the mic.
Okay, I'm coming. Okay, so please, I'm coming. I'm trying to hide the control center for the Zoom. Okay, all right. Yeah, so I think okay. So I think please we are here. Okay, so I'm starting.
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, I mean we have to give a name to the web app that we are creating. So for me, I decided Mr. Robert is teaching us the front end for on how to create a to-do app. Cool. So I just decided to, okay, then why not try and, I mean, with what we've done so far, try and implement some back-end manipulations for the app. I mean, that's the reason for the to-do app that I decided to create over here.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. And so this is why I decided to name it the to-do app.
Okay.
And then I think the next thing that I did was to create, first of all, I mean, we are trying to create a database, because for a to-do list, from what we have done so far in front end, the data that will be taken will be an item title, or the to-do item title. That is the title of whatever task that you are planning to do. And then there's a description for what it actually is, or what the activity actually is. So for the database for that one, I created a class with the name to-do list, and then in that, because there are supposed to be two main sections, that is the title section and then the description. But I was trying to add a date to it, just in case. I mean, at least to try and, I was hoping that I'll be able to figure out how add a date for completion for the task that I'm planning on taking. But for that, I've not figured that out yet. So, but then that's the reason for the date over here. I've not done anything with it yet. But then the main things are the title and then the description.
The description. Okay.
Yes. So you have that.
Let's see your view file.
My view file. Okay. So this is my view file.
So you have one view, and that view is doing two things, right? It's showing you the list of to-dos, and then it is also putting into the database. All right. Let's see the forms.spy file.
Okay. Now there's the form.
Okay. Nice. All right. What about, let me look at the URLs of I.
Okay, this is the URL.
Oh, great. Nice. And then they create the HTML file.
But that is where my issue actually is.
What's the issue?
I don't know. Initially, you see, when the last time when you were showing us how to display the how to go through a dictionary to display the various contents of it. This is how we went by it, right?
Yeah, this is how we went by it.
Yes.
Let's look at file. Let's see your views file. Sorry for cutting you.
Okay, no problem.
All right, so your context is to-dos, right? So go back to the create HTML file.
Yeah.
So it should work, right? What was the issue?
But then whenever I run, this is the message the error message I keep getting, and then they are always highlighting this one that it's an error. I don't know why.
All right, so one of the most important skills for every developer is to be able to debug errors, right? And I think that's one thing I'll have to teach you guys to as well. Scroll to the top.
Okay.
Scroll to the top.
Yeah, there's the top.
So it is saying that no such table to do app _to do list, right? So what that means that did you make migrations?
Okay, so that's the reason.
You didn't do that, right?
Yes, because the migrations was also not working.
All right.
I tried, but when I used the command I used, it wasn't working. I don't know why. That's
nice. I mean, you've done something. I'm actually very happy about this. You've made good progress. All right. So let's look at someone else's project. Who can I talk to? I didn't see Bra Kwame last time, so I can assume Bra Kwame has not done anything. David Amate, you were around last time, so I'm sure you've done something. Can you
Hello.
Yes.
Sorry, my network was giving me a problem, so I just logged in with my laptop. So I beg, give me some few minutes to get the function.
Right. Okay. All right. Tahiru, are you around or you are up? You're out. Mr. Tahiru, I think he's out. All right. Bra Kwame, is this the first time you're joining? Bra Kwame, you're muted. Hello. All right. I don't think yes. Okay, so Amate, we are waiting for you. Okay. So whilst we are waiting, let me share my screen. And then all right. So the last time, like I said initially, we saw how to create a simple view, right? And in the view, we outputted some we created a list and then a list of dictionaries. And then we saw how we inputted them or we outputted them in the HTML file, like a dictionary or like a for loop. All right. And we also saw how to put styling in, how Django renders styling, how you import the static, and then you attach the file that you want to reference or link to the page. All right. And then we also created a view called Create Customer View, where we are able to view a list of customers, and also we are able to post customer data into our SQLite database. Okay. Amate, are you ready now? All right. Do you guys have MySQL installed on your PCs?
I think you said you were going to show us how to install it today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Amate, you are ready, right?
Yes.
Okay, kindly share your screen.
I cannot share whilst we are still sharing.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Nice. Wow. You did a lot. I can see you've done a lot of stuff. Great. All right, so take us through what you did. Are you saying something? Because I can't hear you. Amate, you are muted.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, this is my models file. Models file, I was trying to create something for, let's say, a teacher, where the teacher comes and have his or her lessons and the time they close.
Okay.
Okay, so in my first, the teacher field, I'm having a field for the name and the phone number. And when it comes to the lesson subjects and time taking, close the name of the teacher, the lesson she took, and the time she closed.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm taking it to my forms.py files. And this is my forms.py. Here you can see I imported all the models. I imported them here, and I'm having my classes here.
Okay.
And then we go on to the index. The index.
Let's see your view.
And I did
you before.
Okay. So this is my view. Over here, so I imported the modules
And then
the form. There's create teacher. There's the function. The view function for the teacher side. Okay. And then on to my HTML.
So which one is this? Which HTML is this? Is it for the creating a teacher or which one?
Yeah, this for the the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yes.
How? Because
For the forms.
It's just one form you've got here, right?
Yes.
So how is it for the whole table?
I called the forms actually because I'm not having different forms for the teacher and the others.
Let me see the forms of pi again.
This is the forms of pi.
Yeah, but you have different forms for them. You have teacher form, lesson form, close form. So how are you using all of them in one context? Let me see the views file. So create lesson, create teacher. Okay, so what I see is that you have one HTML file, but then you have for all of the views, right? For all of the creators.
Yes.
Right, this is not advisable. I mean, it could cause problems when you're building a more complex system.
Okay.
Yeah, so what you should have done is that you create different HTML files for
each of the
views.
Okay. And this my urls.py.
Yeah.
Okay.
So were you able to run it in your browser?
Yeah. I was able to run it, but I'm having something that I would like you to tackle with me.
Let's see.
This for the close section.
Yeah.
And when I come to the teacher, instead of me to be able to fill in for the teacher, I'm not being able. It's like it's giving me options to choose from.
But have you added any teacher to the system?
Yes. No, I've not added.
So add a teacher right now. Go to the teacher URL and then add a teacher.
I should go to.
Yeah, the teacher URL, the create teacher URL, and then add a teacher. So add a teacher, add a name and then a phone number.
So
and then I'll go back to the close.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
I think I know why, because I didn't create that save section where we will save this info, all the files. I didn't create it for the teacher and the others, but I think I created it for only one.
Go to the create close URL. Let's see what's there.
Okay.
Now let's see whether there's a teacher in the teacher drop down.
There's no teacher there. So I didn't bring. Let me go here.
Oh, okay. You didn't save it.
Yeah, I didn't save for the teacher side. Yeah, I think I've gotten it now.
All right.
Yeah, I only where is the save for?
You should have done
yeah, for each of them, each of the functions.
For each of them, like the way we did last time.
Yes, I get it.
All right, nice. You guys are doing well.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, yes. Bra Kwame, are you willing to talk now? Bra Kwame, are you willing to talk now? Still, Tahiru, are you available? All right, so today we are going to do class-based views, okay? I'm going to share my screen again, and then we'll look at it. All right, so in Django, right, I think in the first Django session, I mentioned that there are types of views. We have the function view, there's a class-based view and then a generic class-based view. And we've looked at how the function view behaves. So today I want us to look at how the class-based view also, generic class-based view also looks like, right? And before already seeing the templates view, we saw that with the templates view, it only helps you display a particular template, a particular HTML file. You can add context to it or not, but this is what it does, right? Now we are going to look at create view, list view, update view, and delete view, right? Okay. Let me start with, we already have a models file. In the models file, we have a customer table, product table, and then a purchase table. So today we are going to use the product table and then we are going to use all of them and we'll see how we can make them work, right? So I'm going to start with the list view, right? So class customer list. Someone is trying to join. Customer list, right? You see the way I'm naming them? This is camel casing. So in programming, it's very important how you name your classes or your variables or your functions. I mean, it helps you to be able to manage them, organize them well. All right, so class customer lists, and then we can get the create view, no, the list view from where we got the templates view. When I go to where my imports are, I have, okay, someone has raised their hands. Group 3, do you have something to say?
It was a mistake, please.
Okay. We got the templates view from Django.views.generic, right? I'm sure the last time I showed you guys what we can get from this file. So from this file, we have view itself, we have templates view, redirect view, we have other views. We have a lot: detail view, form view, delete view, create view, update view, list view, right? So we are going to use the same importation. I'm going to show you guys a trick, right? So if you want to import everything in a particular module or in a particular file, instead of listing them here, plain like that, you can just use asterisk to indicate that you are importing everything in that file. All right. So that's been done. I have list view here. And then for each of the generic class-based views, they have some compulsory attributes that you have to reference, right? I'm sure when we were doing Python, I introduced you guys to, is it abstraction? We did OOP concepts, right? Amate, were you part of that class? Did we do anything like OOP, object-oriented programming with Python?
Using the objects, yeah, let's say, or dictionaries.
So in the OOP concept, there's a concept called abstraction, right? And then there's another concept called interface. So abstraction is like you create a skeleton and then you use another class to give it flesh, right? So you know a skeleton has a bone head, and what other features does a skeleton have? Let me just use the bone head. So with the bone head, anyone who picks the bone head or the skull will be able to define where they want to put flesh or hair. They can decide to give the person hair on the face or not, keep the person beardless. You get it? So what I'm trying to say is that the OOP concept abstraction enables any framework, right, to create certain classes that they want the people using the framework to give flesh to. that class, right? So when you go to languages like PHP and Java, they actually make use of interfaces. Python doesn't have interface, but Python sometimes, Python has abstraction, right? So some of these generic class-based views make use of this abstraction I'm talking about. So they come with certain attributes that it is enforced. You need to call them. If you don't call them, you're going to get an error. A typical example is the template's name attributes. If you don't make use of the template's name attributes in the templates view, when you inherit the templates view, you're going to get an error because it means that what actually are you trying to show? The templates view's main purpose is to show an HTML template. Do you get it? All right. So coming to the list view, some of the key things that a list view looks at is also the template's name. I'm going to name this customer list.html, right? And then it also looks for see object list. See, it's been a while. Query set, yes, query set. I've just remembered. Query set. All right. So query set is the where you are picking the list from because it's a list view, right? So where you're getting the list from, right? So in this case, we are looking for the customer to show all the customers in the system, right? And then the other attribute it looks out for is a model. The model being the table, the database table, right? In this sense, we are going to use this customer. Any confusion so far? Any questions? All right. Let me continue. So after writing these 3 lines of code under the class, the next thing I will do is to create this HTML file that I've referenced here, right? So I'll go to my templates folder and then create a file called customer list.html. All right. So now, since this is a class-based view, and we don't have to create a context like we did for the function-based view, we created a context, and then we have to return render, then we pass the context in the render function. The class-based view, especially for list view, when you set out all the mandatory parameters, the template's name, the query set model, it creates a variable called or a context called object list. And then that object list will be accessible in the customer underscore list.html file. Right. This thing always worries me. Let me bring it down so that I don't have to go. Right. So now in the customer underscore list HTML file, I can just come in and then call object list context, right? Now, before I continue, let me create a URL for the customer list view. So path customer list. Let me use a more conventional this view dot as view, right? And then the name will be customer list, right? So I have to, no, it's customer list, not customer view. All right. Okay. Now, when I go to my URL, let me run my server. I don't think my server is up. Those who joined late, right? What we started with was in a group, I put in a group that I want you guys to start a new Django project, right? And then you try and do something that we've done in the previous sessions. If you've already done that, right, in the last 30 minutes of this session, we are going to give you the chance to project your screen so that you show us what you've done.
you do the classes. Also in classes, you see, you know, they do something. This thing I was saying it every time. You know, you are not.
Still on mute the mic, eh? Also, my server is running. I don't have an error. Local host. All right, so now I go to my app, right? And then customer/list. Okay, so when I called the object, what's the name? Object list context. You see what it is showing on my screen. It's showing me that I have a query set. I've called a query set, and the query set has two objects in it. That's customer 1 and then customer 2, right? So the next thing I have to do is use a for loop to make it more presentable on the page. I mean, let's just put it in a table. So table, hold on. Table, T head, TR, TH, custom. C body, CR. All right, so I have to put a for loop here. So for object list, and then I'll put my TR in it. So you guys want to be Python developers. One of the coolest thing about Python codes is that you have to make sure you indent. I mean, it should be something, it should become a part of you. You should enjoy indentation. You should want to be like, you should want to indent your code well. So that, I mean, when anyone sees your code, they recognize that, yeah, you're a proper Python developer. Name, right? Let me see how it shows. Name. All right, so now let me do object of phone number. Awesome. So you can see my screen, right? Can you guys see?
Yeah, you can see.
Nice. All right, so the next thing is that I'm going to write another view that is going to enable me to add a customer using a class-based view. All right. So there will be create customer or create customer. Right, and obviously you can predict that we're going to use a case view. All right, so you see the way the list view is more particular about template name, query set, and then the model, right? Create view is also particular about template name, query set, although I don't know why it wants to use query sets. Model, and also most importantly, the form class, because the form class is what will be used to show the HTML form. You see, the last time we created a form, like we saw how Django renders the Python codes into HTML codes when it comes to forms. All right. We have customer form. We created customer form the last time. Okay, we have that. Right. So these three things, or these 4 lines, are very important when it comes to create views, right? Okay, although there are more advanced ways to, I mean, after this, there are other steps that you have to go about, but we'll talk about that later. So now I have to create my file, my HTML file. All right. Before I type anything in, let me just put the URL. Customer creates. Customer creates. All right. So now I'm going to the, the customer list page. I'm going to put a button at the top here, where when you click on that button, it will take you to the create view page, right? So create custom, and then the URL will be just how to render Django URLs. You have, let me write it in full, that you understand where it's coming from. The mustache with the percentage sign, and then the tag is URL, and then it takes a string with option, or a string option, and in that option you have to specify the URL using the names that we give to the URL, right? So the first part of it is the app name, and then the second part of it is the name here. All right, so let me show you how it is done. So the app name was my app, right? Then you have colon in it, followed by the name of the URL itself, right? Now let me refresh the page and see if I have any errors. I don't have any errors. Okay, so now you can see I have create customer link at the top of it. Don't worry about the styles. Let's just focus on the Django right now. The future projects, we'll be looking at how to use Bootstrap itself in this project. Right, so when I click on this link, it brings me to customer creates. All right, see there's a conflict of interest somewhere. Let's identify the conflict of interest. Okay, this is create customer, and then there's customer creates. Let me use a customer creates. I'm using a customer creates, and still it is realizing this one. Why? Okay, is a name here. So customer creates customer as view. Awesome. All right, so it shows nothing on the page, right? Rightly so, there's nothing on this page. So now the next thing is to put or to output the form context. Form.ascii, right? And then it shows the name, and then the phone number, right? Right. So let's enclose this in a form tag. Why is it showing this? Show this instead. Nice. Post. CSRF token, and then form.ascii, and then the button input submit. Submit. All right. Yes, there's one more thing I forgot. So after you input all of these things, so after you submit the form, you would want the form to redirect or to go to another page, right? So there's one more attribute called success URL that you have to specify, right? So normally, you see that we're using a reverse, there's a package or there's a module called reverse, or there's reverse lazy. I mostly prefer to use reverse lazy. There's no particular reason. I just like using reverse lazy. So the reverse lazy, it is asking for you to specify what URL should the request redirect to in case the post is successful, right? So that's why it is success URL. I'll import it later. So after this, just go to app, my app colon, is a customer list. Customer list. All right, so I'm going to import it from Django. Is it shortcut? Import reverse lazy. All right, I'm getting an error here. So cannot import from two. That means it cannot be found there. Django.urls. Okay, so it's in Django.urls. Okay, so now refresh this page. I'm going to add a customer, right? So Philip Owusu. It's my new customer. When I click on submit, now it brings me to this page. You see, I told them to redirect to the customer list page, and then now we have Philip Owusu added to this. Wait, did I type the surname in the number field? Wow, that's bad. Anyway, you guys get what we are trying to do, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So the next view that I'm going to write is the detail view. That one will show you the details of one particular customer, right? Class customer details. Then we are going to inherit the detail view. Detail or details? It's detail. Okay, so the detail view looks out for the template name, obviously. And then hold on guys, let me check online. It's been a while I use class-based view, so I'm a bit frustrated. Class-based view. All right, so this is the resource that I used to use when I started learning in Django. It is class-based views, right? To show you everything about a particular class-based view. So I'm at the detail view section. You can see that the attributes that it looks out for is, okay, there's model can be none. So the ones that are not compulsory, you can identify them by the none values that are, that are assigned to them, right? So that means I have to specify PK, URL, quack, or this query set 2 can be none, and template name 2 can be none. All right, so let's see what we can use. Query sets first to customer objects or model customer. PK URL quag is ID. So the PK URL quag is, since it's a detail view for one particular object, right? out of the list of objects, we will need to reference or identify that particular object with an ID or a primary key or a unique attribute of that particular object. So it's either you're specifying PK or ID, or if you have any unique attributes, right, you can put that as the value here. But in this sense, let's use ID. All right. Now let me go to the URL, create a URL. So for D2 view, when you're creating the URL, it's a bit different from how we did these ones, right? Path, then the normal customer details, and then you have to add one more side of it. So it's a greater than and the less than, the less than and then the greater than symbol. In between it, you have to put the ID. That is the quag. Quag stands for key argument or keyword argument. Right. So you put it here. It should be the same as the PK URL quag that you specify. You get it? All right. So then you continue with the others. So customer detail. Data's view. All right. Now I'm going to the list view. I'm going to add one more TD to it. That will be used to, we'll put a link under that particular TD that when you click on it, it takes you to the details of this particular object, right? My app.customer details. And then to specify the ID that we put in the URL, this URL. After you type this, you come out of the quotes or the string, and then you type the ID, where we can get the ID from. So in this case, this object here contains every attribute of the customer, right? So that means we can get an ID from it. We can also get, like how we got the name and then the phone number, we can also do .id to get the ID of the customer. All right. So when I come back here, refresh the page, I'll see a detail view, right? We didn't create the HTML file. So customer details, HTML. So now when we come here, let me refresh this page again. We click on this. It brings you to Jack Sparrow, because that's the name that I outputted. When I click on this, Philip will show. When I click on this, it shows me human colon. When it comes to the detail view, you see the create view comes with an object or a context called object. The list view comes with a context called object list. The detail view comes with a context called object, right? Just object. Nothing fancy, just object. So it means that one particular object from the module, right? So I was able to get, what's the name? The customer name. I can have objects dot phone number. So best as well, give me the person's phone number under the name. Any questions so far?
Mr. Ofosu?
Yes, I'm listening.
Is this widely used? Because I've seen most people don't use the class-based view. They rather go with the def function.
Function-based view. So
Yeah.
here's the reason why. When you're starting with Django, right? When you even look at the documentation, I mean, they sometimes use the class-based views. I think they mostly use the class-based views, especially in the tutorials feature or tutorials documents in the documentation of Django documentation. The class-based views, they assume that you are coming as a programmer, right? You have programming, they don't even expect you to know Python, but they expect that you know some object orientation. So when you are seeing classes, you are seeing inheritance, all those things, it will be easy for you to adjust to the framework. Do you get it? So for starters, for beginners, it is sometimes advisable to know the basis, and the basis is class-based views. You get it? Because when it comes to the function-based views, it doesn't have any format. You see, with the class-based view, when you look at the create view, I mean the list view, you have to have the template name, the query set, and then the model. But with function-based, it is not constraints. You are not limited to a list or create or detail. You can do a lot of things with the function view. So it makes the possibility to, I don't know, too complex for a beginner to understand. Yeah, so it is not, class-based views are not widely used. I mean, for people who know Django very well, you wouldn't see them using class-based views. Yeah.
Okay. And with the function based, with that one we were using the save, that save thing.
Yeah.
To output the
to save the object, right?
Typed, yeah. But over here you didn't initiate any save or anything.
So like I said, the create view here, no, right? It does all those things for you. That's why I said the class-based views are for beginners. They don't want you to even think about how the data is being stored. They just want you to provide the template name, the query set, the model, the form, the success URL, and then Django will handle the rest for you. You get a whole idea? But with the function view, you have to check for that, how to save, whether to save all those things. It makes it a bit more complex or advanced. All right, so let me continue with the update view, right? Class update customer. All right, so let me check my class-based views to see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh. All right, so sorry, that one too is looking for the form class, because you're updating an object, so you have to update it through a form. The model, the PK, URL quacks, query sets, template name. All right. Yes. All right. So basically all of these guys, right, plus the form view, plus the form class. We change the name here to customer updates. All right, so since this comes with a form, I can get a form, right? So form post Let me change my VS Code engine. CSRF token. And then form. All right, and then URL. Path customer updates. Because it has PK URL quacks, I have to add the ID to this. And then I need to update customer. That's you. All right. All right. So now on the details page, right? I can add a button somewhere here. My default engine is Django, so sometimes when I want to use HTML, I have to now switch back to HTML. Update or update customer, right? Then I'll put a URL in it. So we'll have my app colon customer dash update, and then object. I have object as the context, so I can use object dot ID. All right, my server is running. Let's go back to the browser and see what's up. So when I click on this, it brings me into the form. So you can see that with the update view, Django gives you the form and then it gives you the data already in it, the objects data already in it. So if you want to update it, you just have to, let me add one end to this. Okay, I'm having an error. No URL to redirect to. All right, so let me check my redirects, whether I have a success URL in my view. I don't have success URL. So I'm going to redirect to the list page after the update is successful. So success URL first to customer lists. 1 minute. All right, so I'm back. So the update was even successful, but there's you couldn't redirect. Let me change the surname to Kujo. All right, so now you can see that human colon has changed to human Kujo. The phone number is the same. And you click on Philip Oos. Let me change the phone number to the phone number. So 0 any number here. Updates. Okay, so you can see that Philip. Let me add the Oos to the name again. Updates. Are you guys following what we are doing?
Yes, please.
Awesome, awesome. Any questions? All right, I'm assuming there's no question. So the last one we'll do is the delete view, right? Class delete customer delete view. Let me check. The reason why I'm referring to that particular website is because I want you guys to be using it. You get it? In case you have any issues when you're using class-based views, I expect you guys to go to that page to find out what attributes or what functions are supposed to, or what methods are supposed to use for that particular class-based view you are using. So delete view. We are looking at model, PK, query sets, success URL, and template name. All right.
Mr. Emma,
Yes.
so from this listed there, how do you know which ones to use?
Come again.
The website you visited,
Yeah.
the one for the class-based views.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking that from the attributes listed, how do you know which ones exactly you need for a particular task?
Nice question.
See, the query state, all right, but there's another query underscore PK underscore. I mean, how do we know we don't need that or the other attribute?
All right, so that's why I'm doing these tutorials, right? I'm showing you the key ones, right? The ones that are key when it comes to, the ones that are required. Let me put it that way. The other ones that I'm not using, they are the ones that you can bypass or you can decide not to call unless you know what you are really doing. You get it?
Yes.
For example, template engine. Django has its own template engine.
Yeah, I get it.
Right? So if you want to use your own, you don't use Django's template engine for a particular view, you want to use your own template engine. That is where you are going to call the template engine attribute. All right. Let me go back to the. So I think I'm going to need basically everything here. Right? Do I need delete? Do I need template name? Let's try something. Let me comment out template name and then, because I don't remember using template name for delete view before. So let me just comment it out. Form class. Do we need form?
I think it's needed.
It's needed, eh?
Yeah.
I don't need form class.
That's where you ask for confirmation whether you proceed to delete or not.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So for shaky reason, right? Let me create the template name and delete something, right? And then cool, URL. Customer delete. All right. So let me check what page we can add that link to delete. My server is not running. Oh, I thought I cleared it. we can put the delete button here beside the customer, and then we'll see how it goes. Standard. Right. So form post CSRF customer. This time I'm going to put an action, right? Because the delete is a different view from the detail view. So I'm going to have to put customer delete and then objects. Any errors? No error. Awesome, that's deleted. You see, one of them is gone. I had 3 objects. Let me delete one more. That's deleted. Let me add another one. So, colon. So details. So Amate, let's comment out the template name, right? And see if we are still going to be able to delete. Yes, we're able to delete. So we didn't really need the template name. But I get what you were saying. Sometimes Django will request you to have a template name so that in case you want to have a confirmation page, right? To be possible. Daniel. All right, any questions so far? No questions. Tahiru, are you back? Tahiru is not back. I'm missing Tahiru already. Hack me. He came in late. Did you see what I put in the group the last time?
Yes, please.
Okay, so were you able to do it? Were you able to start a Django project?
Yes, please.
Can you show me your screen? Can you show us the project that you started?
Actually, I'm using my phone right now, so
we have the time. We can give you like 10 minutes to set up, and then when you're done, you let us know, okay? So that if you had any issues or if you realize you learned something new, you can share with everyone here.
Okay.
All right, so when you're ready, let us know, okay? I'm looking for my SQL app. I have an app that I use to set up my SQL for my projects. SQL is all right. Right. Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to ask you guys to do, right? I'm sure you guys are using Windows. I'd like you guys to look for how to install how to install MySQL on your PC. And then install, look for the app name. install MySQL front on your PCs, right? That's the studio or management, SQL management studio we're going to use for the MySQL, right? What's the comment section? Let me put it in the chat. Install MySQL on your PC. You can use Apache. If you already have Apache on your PC, that's cool. Because Apache comes with, I mean, XAMPP or WAMP, both of them comes with MySQL already installed. So if you have them on your PC, that's fine. But if you don't have them, install MySQL, look for the setup, install it on your PC, and then install MySQL front. The next time you are going to actually input the data in a real database. You're not going to use the SQLite paper. All right. Any other question? Hakmi, are you ready now? All right. So the next time we are going to have a meeting, right? We are going to look at the first thing that I mentioned, the MySQL. Then we are going to look at a user system, like a user structure. You know, with every system that you build, your first thing is who are going to use that system, right? And you most likely want to keep the records or the data of those using the system. So we're going to look at Django. Django has a way of managing users. We're going to look at it. You're going to look at authentication with Django. Django actually has a whole authentication package that comes with the framework that enables you to log in, log out, create password, reset your password, change your password. We're going to look at all of those features that comes with Django, right? And then we'll see how we can link it to our user with the current user or with the current tables that we already have. We are going to look at how we will be able to link them together so that when we create a customer, we will know which user created that particular customer object. All right. And what again? And then we'll actually, this time, we are going to download a template. It's either we'll look at one of Bootstrap sample templates or example templates, and then we'll make sure we have nice pages with what we are doing. I think Hakmi is ready now. Let me stop sharing for him to be able to share. Wow. Nice, nice. You're using mixins and all. Great. Wait, Hakmi, are you already a Django developer?
Yes, please.
So you do projects, you already have, like you've worked on real life projects for people before?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I may ask, what are you looking to achieve from these tutorials that you join? I know sometimes maybe you've not reached a certain level that you are hoping to reach with these tutorials. Is that right?
Come again, please.
What are you hoping to achieve? Right, because you are not a beginner, right? And this tutorials is for beginners. So what are you hoping to achieve by joining this session?
Oh, like sometimes what do you call it?
There's feedback. There's feedback. I can't hear you.
I would say like you serve as like form of reading. It also encourages me for the tracking and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's nice. All right. It's not bad that you join. You can obviously see that for me, Grandpa, sometimes I've forgotten about the basis of Django, because sometimes when you reach a certain level, you don't do normal stuff anymore. You start to do abnormal programming. All right. All right. So with what I'm seeing right now, I don't want to look at it because I'll confuse others who don't understand, because we've not reached this stage yet. So yeah, kindly unshare your screen. All right. So like what I said, right? So in the next session, we're going to configure Django with the MySQL database. 1, 2. We are going to have Bootstrap. We're going to implement Bootstrap CSS with our templates that we have. And then 3, we are going to start with the Django user system, the authentication system, and how to add it to our current tables that we have, right? So any questions about this? I want to end the session. The Brad Kwame guy, right? You've not said anything. I would like to know who you are. Brad Kwame, can you unmute mute your mic and then say something? Just if you can just mention your name, guys. Okay. All right. Okay.
Please, I want to ask a question.
Ask.
I think I was a little bit late. I want to know how to do the importation of the class-based view in the URL.
How did I
import the class-based view into the URL, the name of the classes?
Oh, okay. So this is how we did it, right? We imported all the views from the views file, and then for each and every part, the class name .asView, and then the name follows as well.
Thanks. But I used to import them one after the other, which was, yeah.
Oh, you used to, instead of the star, right?
Yes, please. I never knew about the star.
Nice. So there's a star. So the star enables you to import everything in that particular module, right? So if I want to view, if I even create just a variable here, let's say Kofi, right, equals to Kofi's name. And I go to the URLs file, I should be able to reference Kofi. You get me? Because Kofi is coming from this file here, the views module here. So you can see there's no red line under it. All right, so if there's no more questions, the items that I mentioned, I'm going to put them in a group again for you guys to take notes so that the next session will be fine. I'm very grateful that you guys actually took time to start the new Django project on your own and you were able to do something. Those who had issues, I'm sure after this, what we've seen today, you'll be able to resolve the issues. Amate and what's the other guy's name? Amate and Osuje, will you guys be able to resolve your issues?
Yeah,
I think for mine, I've been able to add the migration, so it's okay.
Awesome. All right, so we can end the session here. I'll post the videos hopefully tomorrow. Okay. Good night, guys.
Yeah, Mzaima.
Yeah.
Yeah, please, kindly do so earlier so that we can go videos again and then at least have some form of revision and try to work on the make the man that we've created. At least we can also try developing alongside what we are doing.
Awesome. I'll post it tomorrow, early tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Nice evening.